Bible verses about the powers of one's word. Positive impact of words. Proverbs chapter 15 verse 4. The soothing tongue is a tree of life, but a perverse tongue crushes the spirit. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 24. Gracious words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. Ephesians chapter 4 verse 29. Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen. Colossians chapter 4 verse 6. Let your conversation be always full of grace, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how to answer everyone. Power to create. Genesis chapter 1 verse 3. And God said, "Let there be light, and there was light." Proverbs chapter 18 verse 21. The tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit. Control over the body. James chapter 3 verse 3-5. When we put bits into the mouths of horses to make them obey us, we can turn the whole animal. Or take ships as an example. Although they are so large and are driven by strong winds, they are steered by a very small rudder wherever the pilot wants to go. Likewise, the tongue is a small part of the body, but it makes great boasts. James chapter 3 verse 8, 10 inches but no human being can tame the tongue. It is a restless evil, full of deadly poison. With the tongue, we praise our Lord and Father, and with it, we curse human beings, who have been made in God's likeness. Out of the same mouth come praise and cursing. Accountability for words. Matthew chapter 12 verse 36-37. But I tell you that everyone will have to give account on the day of judgment for every empty word they have spoken. For by your words you will be acquitted, and by your words you will be condemned. Matthew chapter 5 verse 37. All you need to say is simply, yes or no. Anything beyond this comes from the evil one. Power of blessing. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 24. Gracious words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. Numbers chapter 6 verse 24, 26 inches. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. Danger of uncontrolled speech. James chapter 1 verse 26. Those who consider themselves religious and yet do not keep a tight rein on their tongues deceive themselves, and their religion is worthless. James chapter 3 verse 6. The tongue also is a fire, a world of evil among the parts of the body. It corrupts the whole body, sets the whole course of one's life on fire, and is itself set on fire by hell. Seeking wisdom in speech. Proverbs chapter 10 verse 19. Sin is not ended by multiplying words, but the prudent hold their tongues. Proverbs chapter 21 verse 23. Those who guard their mouths and their tongues keep themselves from calamity. Words reflect the heart. Luke chapter 6 verse 45. A good man brings good things out of the good stored up in his heart, and an evil man brings evil things out of the evil stored up in his heart. For the mouth speaks what the heart is full of. Proverbs chapter 4 verse 23. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Truth and honesty. Exodus chapter 20 verse 16. You shall not give false testimony against your neighbor. Ephesians chapter 4 verse 25. Therefore each of you must put off falsehood and speak truthfully to your neighbor, for we are all members of one body. Wisdom and understanding. Proverbs chapter 10 verse 13. Wisdom is found on the lips of the discerning, but a rod is for the back of one who has no sense. Proverbs chapter 10 verse 31. The mouth of the righteous brings forth wisdom, but a perverse tongue will be cut out. Gentleness and kindness. Proverbs chapter 15 verse 1. A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Colossians chapter 3 verse 12, 14 inches. Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Bear with each other and forgive one another if any of you has a grievance against someone. Forgive as the Lord forgave you. And over all these virtues put on love, which binds them all together in perfect unity. The power of the gospel. Romans chapter 1 verse 16. For I am not ashamed of the gospel, because it is the power of God that brings salvation to everyone who believes. First to the Jew, then to the Gentile. Righteous speech. Psalm chapter 19 verse 14. May these words of my mouth and this meditation of my heart be pleasing in your sight, Lord, my rock and my redeemer. Psalm chapter 141 verse 3. Set a guard over my mouth, Lord. Keep watch over the door of my lips. Guidance and counsel. Proverbs chapter 12 verse 18. The words of the reckless pierce like swords, but the tongue of the wise brings healing. Proverbs chapter 20 verse 15. Gold there is, and rubies in abundance, but lips that speak knowledge are a rare jewel. Praise and worship. Psalm chapter 34 verse 1. I will extol the Lord at all times. His praise will always be on my lips. These verses underscore the power of words to create, heal, encourage, bless, guide, and reflect one's heart and character. They also emphasize the responsibility and accountability we have for the words we speak. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, comment, like and share.